What's up, guys? We are here at the Hyte suite at the Venetian CES 2024. They are showing off a very interesting keyboard and a kind of an innovative cooler. So let's go take a look. So if you guys are in need of a modern human interface, Hyte has one. It's called the Keeb TKL. And this is something that's actually been in development for a couple of years now. Hyte has gone through a couple of different iterations of this keyboard, moving things around, expanding it. It actually used to be smaller footprint, 65% I think was they said, and also the scroll wheel and stuff was on the other side. So they've got through testing and revisions and iterations of this board. They've come out with this. This is the final product, and it should be available in about a month. You can order it right now on the Hyte website for what price? $179.99. Now, the switches are actually Hyte's own design, so they have their own switches in this board, along with lubed Durox stabilizers. So the board actually sounds and feels really good, although I don't know how much of it you can actually hear when I'm pressing the keys. It does sound and feel like almost like a full custom keyboard. All right, I've been told to circle back on these switches because these are called the fluffy lavenders, and it's super important that everybody knows that. But they feel really good. They're linear switches. And they are in this keyboard that has the Nexus software connectivity and all these lights. So there's a whole bunch of RGB effects going on around the entirety of the keyboard. They also have per key lighting, and these switches, these media keys up here are actually hinged at the top. So I know maybe it's going to be a little bit difficult for you guys to be able to see that, but it's not a traditional button that you push down. They're actually hinged up at the top, and then when you press them in, they kind of flap down like paddle shifters in a car. So some interesting innovations here from the Keeb TKL modern human interface. It sounds like they're interfacing with a human, which is weird. But anyway, it still sounds and looks pretty good. I am unsure about these keycaps because they are a little bit smaller of a top than you would find on the traditional like cherry profile. But it's not a huge difference, and it does kind of go along with the aesthetic that they were going for. So Hyte Keeb TKL available February $179. You could order it right now. And then what I actually think is kind of the star of the show here at Hyte is their new cooler. Now, I'm not in love with the name, but this is a very interesting implementation of an AIO. So this is going to be $299, and it comes with this enormous 5-inch screen. Now, the screen is actually something that a lot of companies are doing, but I don't think I've ever seen a company do something that does this. So you could turn it side to side, depending on how you have the orientation of your case, so you could always see your screen. There's lights on the back of this panel to illuminate down onto the motherboard, and you could also kind of shift it left and right, just to make sure that you are always seeing what is on the screen. Now, again, this screen does integrate with their Nexus software, as does all of this lighting and the new cooler. So all of the cabling is going to run through the cooler, through the radiator itself. Up here is the connection point, and you have all of the signal and power running through the tubes. This cooler is immensely large. It's only going to be available in a 240 millimeter version, but it is quite thick, and the fans themselves are also thicker than normal. All right, so these are 32 millimeter fans. Standard fans are 25 millimeters, but these are pushing a huge amount of air. Now, when they turn on this whole contraption, it gets quite windy in here because these are moving so much air. What's the static pressure on this? 8.1? 8.14 is crazy for static pressure, but it has to be that high because of the thickness of the radiator. Now, they said that there's going to be basically a QVL for this cooler setup for cases that will work with this thickness of radiators and fans, because not all cases will work. But because they're limiting this to only 240 millimeters for now, a lot of cases that maybe couldn't get 360 millimeters worth of cooling can use this instead, and actually you can cool all the high-end processors with a 240 millimeter AIO. And then just like the keyboard, this is shipping in February, and this is going to be $299. And then the last thing to talk about is this lighting ecosystem. Now, all of these devices that you're seeing here are actually being run off of connection just from the cooler itself. Hyte is running all of these up to 18 devices coming off of one channel and up to 34 off of 2 channels. And I got that right because now I've done this like 4 different times. So I hope you guys enjoyed a tour of the Hyte suite here at the Venetian CES 2024. More videos coming to you very soon here on the channel, so stay tuned.